Please remain standing. This time I'd like to call to order the March 18th, 2021 Hamilton County Legislative Body, and I'm going to ask Commissioner Jim Stepp to lead us in our prayer, please.
Before we pray, I'll read a verse, please. Proverbs chapter 17, verse 6. It says, "Our children's children are the crown of old men, and their glory of children are their fathers." Just remember this as we walk through our lives. Let us pray. Our most precious Lord and Father in heaven, we come to you tonight, Lord, that you'll lead us and guide us as, and that you'll have us to do, Lord, the job that we have been elected to do, Lord. We pray for each and every one of us here in this room, Lord. And most of all, Lord, we pray for their souls. Pray that everyone will see Christ in their life. Lead us and guide us, Lord, that you'll have us see it. In Jesus' name, this precious name that we know. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Commissioner Stepp. At this time, I'm going to ask Commissioner Coyne, please lead us in our pledge.
Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. I want to remind the commissioners to please turn your mics on. Unfortunately, our computer is down, so most of what we're going to be doing tonight is going to be offline. So I'm going to ask the clerk to please call the roll this time.
Jeff Aker.
Here.
Chris Cutshaw.
Aye.
Randy DeBoer.
Here.
Thomas Doty.
Here.
Tim Goins.
Aye.
Bobby Pine.
Aye.
Tim Horner.
Here.
Joe Huntsman. Eileen Armline. Here. Mike Reed. Wayne Neesmith.
Here.
Howard Shipley.
Here.
Jim Stepp.
Here.
We have 11.
We do have a quorum present, so we are open for business. At this time, we would like to recess the Hamilton County Legislative Body and reconvene as a beer board to consider the beer license for Kenny's Market located on Copper Ridge Road. Is the owner or the operator of this business present? If not, then I would like to ask if anyone here has wants to speak in favor or against the beer permit request for Kenny's Market. Please come to the podium at this time and share your concerns.
I'm hoping that 150 West Point Drive. I'm not just against kids, I'm against all of them. We got so many on each corner now, we're lucky if we make it back home alive. I got hit by one. Got my nose broke, my eye hurt. Just out getting me a milkshake. I would have never thought Hamilton County would have had beer on every corner.
Thank you for your comments. Do we have anyone else who wishes to address the commission regarding this beer request? Anybody else? Hearing no one else there, we're going to close the public comment section for as a beer board and reconvene as the Hamilton County Legislative Body. At this time, the chair would entertain a motion dealing with the request for beer license for Kenny's Market located on Copper Ridge Road in Morristown.
So moved.
All right, we have a motion from Commissioner Goin. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Horner. Okay. Any discussion?
Chairman, I have a question. It's an on and off premises permit. I assume they've met all requirements as far as the on-site.
From the documentation that has been given to us in our packet, yes, they've met all the requirements.
I just find it odd to have a on-site permit right at the head of the neighborhood.
Yeah. Anyone else? Any other discussion? If not, then all of those in favor of granting the beer permit, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, let it be known by saying no.
No.
Let's do a roll call, please.
Jeff Aker,
No.
Chris Cutshaw,
No.
Randy DeBoer,
No.
Thomas Doty,
Yes.
Tim Goins,
Aye.
Bobby Hahn,
No.
Tim Horner,
Yes.
Eileen Ornwine,
Yes.
Wayne Neesmith,
No.
Howard Shipley,
Yes.
Jim Stepp,
No.
Taylor Ward. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 6 no's and 5 yeas.
Okay, the motion fails for a lack of a majority vote. Okay? Proceeding on to the next item of business. You have before you the confirmation of the appointment of City Council's recommendation for Case Center to be on the 911 board. We dealt with this during our last meeting, but unfortunately, we did not get a second on that motion. So it's before us again, so the chair would entertain a motion that we confirm the appointment of Case Center to the 911 board.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Doty moves and Commissioner Hahn seconds it. Any discussion? I don't think we need discussion on this. All those in favor of confirming the appointment, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, by saying no. Hearing no no's, the motion is approved. At this time, the chair will recognize Chairman Jim Stepp of the Calendar and Rules Committee.
Thank you, Chairman. Item 5A, approval of consent calendar item, I put that in form of motion.
We have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a second from Commissioner Aker. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the consent calendar, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, approving the consent calendar, let it be known by saying no. Hearing no no's, the motion is approved.
Item 5B, approval of the regular calendar items, I put that in form of a motion.
All right, we have a motion to approve the regular calendar. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Commissioner Aker. Any discussion? Hearing none then, all of those who are in favor of approving the regular calendar, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, by saying no. The motion is approved.
All I have, Chairman.
Thank you very much, Chairman Stepp. At this time, the chair would entertain a motion to approve the consent calendar.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, Commissioner DeBoer moves that we approve the consent calendar. Commissioner Stepp seconds the motion. Any discussion? Hearing none, those in favor of approving the consent calendar, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed by saying no. Hearing no no's, then the motion is approved. At this time, we will receive comments from the public on any item that is on tonight's agenda. Please come to the podium, state your name, and share your comments on agenda items only.
Gwen Holden, 8150 West Park Drive. Down on number 11, number B, or number A, bid tabulation, manufactured steel detention sales. Okay, I'm addressing this to you, Mr. Shipley, since you're the chairman of the commission. I would like to know why, and I would like for you to ask him, why Mr. Horner, my county commissioner, whom I voted for, did not answer my emails that I sent him about this, wanting to know about it. I had 4 questions that I asked him, but he never answered my emails. Now, since he did not answer my emails, Mr. Shipley, he will not get my vote if he runs again. Because I am his constituent, and I'm paying for that jail and these sales, and I need to know what I need to know when I send him my email, which he did not return. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Anyone else who wishes to address the commission on agenda items?
My name is Linda Noe, 2343 Joe Stevens Road. I would like to discuss the jail as well. You're right on that. The jail problem is real, and we all know that, and there are multiple solutions out there. The current 4-story jail design with its elaborate new justice center costs millions more than a simple 1-story jail with pods, with a complete renovation of the existing justice center. I firmly believe we could save anywhere from $25 to $30 million if we changed our design to the safer 1-level jail. And if we only saved 20, I think the taxpayers would be happy with that as well. And if you wanted to, you could then start setting money aside for a new justice center. Instead of always, let's go into debt to get something, do like families would like to do and should do. Set it aside, and then you've got the money later. But as I said, with the jail, we have not looked at all options. The handling of the jail justice center project has been an utter failure. The whole process has been haphazard, piecemeal, and unprofessional. Along the way, this commission has violated Robert's Rules of Order, the 10-day rule that most of you voted for when you were on commission, review of the 10-day rule for review of contracts, the constitutional rights of citizens, and your rule for hiring professionals like architects. And I'm referring here to the Hale House. All this chaos shows extreme incompetence at best. And just this week, you have your incompetence on the jail cells. There's a lot to learn about how do you go to Madison County. Who gave us the name of Madison County to go to? Who do we know, or who does somebody know down there? And were we comparing apples to apples? Was Madison County violating the law on sales tax? I don't know. There are a lot of interesting things. You can do the sales tax situation like you're talking about if also the county's forces are installing something. But I don't think you'll ever find, I don't know of any situation where a contractor, you can buy it, use the sales tax, then hand it off to a contractor to install. And that's exactly what you found out. And that's exactly what Mr. Neesmith said in February 18th, when many of you over here jumped on him and said, "You're wrong." He was right.
Thank you for your comments. Anyone else who wishes to address the commission?
Bonnie Bollington, 317 Stubblefield Street, Plattsburgh. I have to follow along the same guidelines as Linda. This deal, how the mayor came up with saving sales tax on the jail sales, it worries me. And it makes me wonder and question whether anybody has the common sense to actually put this jail together. If he could save sales tax on the purchase of the jail sales, why couldn't he have saved sales tax by the county purchasing the concrete, the block, the brick, the plumbing, the electrical, everything to do with the building stands to reason. So why pick out just the jail cells? Where did he get that idea? These kind of things makes us really worry about what this jail is going to be when it actually does get built. Is it going to fall in on itself? I mean, it's the site it's being built on is unstable as can be, as the old jail has shown. There's just nothing about this jail that the people of this county want, even though we realize we need a jail and we need it desperately. But we need something that's put together with common sense and integrity and with people and their needs in mind. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Anyone else? Yes.
My name's Edna Green. I live at 4981 Cameron Road. I'd like to resign the same opinion. This jail has not been constructed, or ever how you want to put it, it's not been bidded, it's not been handled in a professional manner. I was here when the remark was made you didn't have to pay sales tax. Don't take this the wrong way, we run a business. We have to pay it. What makes you think that you can exempt anyone else? And ever who the person was, and yes, I do know who the person was, I'm just being polite, who told you folks about it, you need to back up and tell him that he needs to get his facts straight. If you'll call Tennessee Revenue, they'll give him the paperwork. He won't have to take a verbal opinion. This jail is a mistake just waiting to happen. You're going to have more inmate lawsuits. You're going to have less safety for the officers. You're going to have more people to run it, which is going to be a bigger labor bill. And any of you that run a business in here knows that your labor bill is the biggest ticket item of your business. So how can you not look at this? You're 14 sensible people. Why will you not take and step back and look? Some of you are my age. Why don't you consider your neighbors, what kind of burden you're putting on them? Do you really want your neighbors to lose their homes over a tax bill that you've been the pusher of? Maybe I'm getting a little too straight for you folks. But you need to step back and think about it. You're not spending your money. You're spending our money. And I personally think you're using poor judgment. By what I've seen and heard so far, I wonder what you're thinking. I wonder what kind of educational process you folks followed. When I went to school, 2 and 2 made 4. But what I've heard, it doesn't make 4 anymore, it makes 2 again. So please, be sensible. Go back to the rules that this commission has put in place for the safety of the taxpayers. And I'm talking about the 10-day rule. I'm talking about looking at the 1-level jail. 4-story jail. I read not too long ago, we're talking about not finishing the 3rd level. All right? By the math that Jim's gave me, it takes 3 levels to have 600 prisoners. 2 levels, 400 is what I've read. And if I'm wrong, please correct me, gentlemen and ladies. But you just need to wake up and smell the coffee. And some of you need to go back to school, and some of you are behind school. So thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Anyone else?
There are, with Cargo in Morristown. There've been several people trying to tell our group that this jail's a done deal, y'all might as well quit fighting now. There've been a lot of comments coming from people over here that, oh no, it's not 75 million. I was sitting there that night when y'all talked about the bonds. The mayor told you we're gonna get 85 million in bonds, 10 million of it for West Hospital, 75 million for the jail. The Stafford mayor remarked that night how he wouldn't vote for it, and even apologized to the school because it's not nothing to do with the school. I just don't want to vote for it because it's tied to this jail. We sat here and heard you do it, then you said we're told us, oh no, we're wrong, it's not 75. That's what you said right up here. That's what the mayor said here and told you. those numbers we get are coming from y'all. And as far as it being a done deal, I remember back in the early 70s, they talked about something that was just a done deal. Nobody could stop it. To a place called Miller's Ditch. And y'all are working your way into another Miller's Ditch because you won't listen to the people. And at this time, it'll be national media when it comes down to that point. So if y'all keep this up, that's what you're going to push the people into, is having a Miller's Ditch Part 2 right here. Hope it don't come to that, but y'all are the only ones that can stop it from coming to that.
Thank you for your comment.
Karen Arwood, 1501 Ellen Road. Okay, once again about the jail. That for well over a year now, maybe a year and a half or longer, this jail has been nothing but a go broke from the very beginning. Before it gets any deeper and all that, put a halt to this. There are a lot of questions that you need to be asking, that you need to be getting information, be doing research. A whole lot of this that we don't know. And there's been things that have come to light just recently that, quite frankly, in setting up, designing a building and doing and for construction purposes, there are things that have come to light that should have been known from the get-go, like the foundation, the support, a lot of things. It's not too late to halt right now. Temporarily, halt. Ask a lot of questions, do research, coming up with a lot of questions. We do need a jail. I'm not, and I don't think any of the people that I am a member of COAG with are against a jail. It's not that. We do need a new one, a better facility. But a newer, better facility is not going to do us a bit of good if we can't use it and use it safely. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment.
One other thing, just real quick.
Okay.
And let's not have another Miller's Ditch. Stop now. Let's get a bunch of things answered. Thank you.
Do we have anyone else who wishes to address the commission? Yes, sir.
My name is Tony Scarzullo, 609 East Louise Avenue. First, I'm going to start off with reading out a letter from a couple that owns two properties across from where the new facility is supposed to be built off of West 5th North Street. It says that their work schedule prohibits attendance to this meeting addressing the commissioners with a letter in regards to the new Justice Center. Our rental properties are located across from the Justice Center, and we have concerns locating the new Justice Center at the current location. Some tenants have concerns, and if they move out, not sure our apartments will attract other tenants. The property values will be affected negatively for property owners in this area, decreasing values more. There are better locations for the new Justice Center inside of a residential and historical area of town. This site is next to the Rose Center where different events are held that attract visitors, and a larger facility will not have positive reflection for this area. Please take in consideration the residents in this area and the impact this has on them as well as property owners. Thank you. So that is just one of them, and I was running a little behind today, and I meant to grab all my paperwork, and I did, but it's sitting under that dashboard of the truck. So that is just one of the letters. I don't have the list of signatures that I gathered that other day, but you had spoken, Joe, to that couple on the phone. You had said that they reached out to you. There's many others that are like that, and they would like your all's attention. I have heard in the past few months of me coming to these meetings, a push on this multi-story facility. But I've never heard not one negative reason why we don't want a single-story facility in a different location. Or single-story facility, period. Nobody has ever, in my 4 or 5 months coming to these meetings, has addressed why that is such a negative thing. And nobody's had a positive thing about it either. Therefore, we're not on a single-minded level here. We're on a team playing field. It's everybody together. Everybody thinks the same way. Nobody has any oppositions. And it shouldn't be like that. Last year, there was numerous things that had to be gone back over and rethought, re-represented. And that was shown in the tax deal, that was shown in the foundation, and there's other issues that have came up in response to this. If there's that many things, I don't even think a 10-day time to look is enough. We need 30 days because you all aren't on top of it.
Anyone else who wishes to address the commission? Anyone else? Hearing no other comments, then we'll proceed. The chair at this time will recognize Chairman Randy DeBoard of the Audit Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On 8A, acceptance of the Hamlin County Government Audit for fiscal year ending June 30th of 2020, and I put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? We have a second from Commissioner Chris Cutshaw. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, then all those in favor of accepting the Hamlin County audit, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed by saying no. Hearing no no's, the motion is approved. Thank you, Chairman DeBoard. Now we're going to recognize you as Chairman of the Finance Committee.
Okay, in 9A, the monthly checks, and this is the approval of the monthly checks, and I put it in the form of a motion.
We have a motion to approve the monthly checks. We have a second from Commissioner Stepp over here. Any discussion about the monthly checks? Hearing none, then, Madam Clerk, call roll.
Jeff Aker,
Yes.
Chris Cutshaw,
Aye.
Randy DeBoard,
Yes.
Thomas Doty,
Yes.
Tim Goins,
Aye.
Bobby Hahn,
Aye.
Tim Horner,
Yes.
Joe Huntsman,
Yep.
Eileen Arnwine,
Yes.
Mike Reed, Wayne Neesmith,
Yes.
Howard Shipley,
Yes.
Jim Stepp.
Yes.
Okay, it's 12, yea, 0 nay.
The motion is approved.
Number 9B, budget amendments. Number 1, Hamlin County Board of Education, budget amendment number 6, increase of $649,643. This has been approved by the school board, and I put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Hahn. Any discussion?
Question,
Yes, sir.
is there any, county responsibility on this?
There is no maintenance of that. That's your question. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Jeff Aker,
Yes.
Chris Cutshaw,
Aye.
Randy DeBoard,
Yes.
Thomas Doty,
Yes.
Tim Goins,
Aye.
Bobby Hahn,
Aye.
Tim Horner,
Yes.
Joe Huntsman,
Yes.
Eileen Arnwine,
Yes.
Wayne Neesmith,
Yes.
Howard Shipley,
Yes.
Jim Stepp.
Yes.
It's 12 yea, 0 nay.
The motion is approved.
Number 9B2, this is for Fund 101 CARES Act COVID grant in $968,545, and I'll put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Goins. Any discussion?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Just want to let the people that here don't know what all this is. This is $968,000. This is money that's come into the school system through grants, through COVID. It's their money that they're putting in for the school system. So it doesn't cost the county taxpayer a penny. I just wanted, a lot of faces look puzzled out there.
Yes, sir.
I'm finished.
It doesn't go,
That money's not, for the school system, that was for the general, that was for the county.
general fund of the county. Any other discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Jeff Eckert,
Yes.
Chris Cutshaw,
Aye.
Randy DeBoer,
Yes.
Thomas Doty,
Yes.
Tim Goins,
Aye.
Bobby Hahn,
Aye.
Tim Horner,
Yes.
Joe Huntsman,
Yes.
Eileen Armstrong,
Yes.
Wayne Neesmith,
Yes.
Howard Shipley,
Yes,
and Jim Stepp.
Yes.
Okay, that's 12 yeas, 0 nays.
the motion is approved.
Item 9B3, Fund 116, CARES Act, COVID-19 money. It is $4,463.55, and I'll put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Gahn. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, then let's call the roll, please.
Jeff Eckert,
Yes.
Chris Cutshaw,
Aye.
Randy DeBoer,
Yes.
Thomas Doty,
Yes.
Tim Goins,
Aye.
Bobby Hahn,
Aye.
Tim Horner,
Yes.
Joe Huntsman,
Yes.
Eileen Armstrong,
Yes.
Wayne Neesmith,
Yes.
Howard Shipley,
Yes,
Jim Stepp.
Yes.
It's 12 yeas, 0 nays.
the motion is approved.
Item 9B4, Fund 131, CARES Act, COVID money, $45.83, and I'll put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Cutshaw over here. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, call the roll, please.
Jeff Eckert,
Yes.
Chris Cutshaw,
Aye.
Randy DeBoer,
Yes.
Thomas Doty,
Yes.
Tim Goins,
Aye.
Bobby Hahn,
Aye.
Tim Horner,
Yes.
Joe Huntsman,
Yes.
Eileen Armstrong,
Yes.
Wayne Neesmith,
Yes.
Howard Shipley,
Yes,
Jim Stepp.
Yes.
It's 12 yeas, 0 nays.
the motion is approved.
Item 9B5, Fund 101 for County Clerk's Office, $1,288, and that's for a printer, and I put it in the form of a motion.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Hahn. Any discussion? Hearing none, let's call the roll, please.
Jeff Eckert,
Yes.
Chris Cutshaw,
Aye.
Randy DeBoer,
Yes.
Thomas Doty,
Yes.
Tim Goins,
Aye.
Bobby Hahn,
Aye.
Tim Horner,
Yes.
Joe Huntsman,
Yes.
Eileen Armstrong,
Yes.
Wayne Neesmith,
Yes.
Howard Shipley,
Yes,
Jim Stepp.
Yes.
12 yeas, 0 nays.
the motion is approved.
Item number 9B6, Fund 101 for County Clerk's Office, $10,000 for security cameras, and I put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion, do we have a second? We have a second from Commissioner Neesmith. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, call the roll, please.
Jeff Eckert,
Yes.
Chris Cutshaw,
Aye.
Randy DeBoer,
Yes.
Thomas Doty,
Yes.
Tim Goins,
Aye.
Bobby Hahn,
Aye.
Tim Horner,
Yes.
Joe Huntsman,
Yes.
Eileen Armstrong,
Yes.
Wayne Neesmith,
Yes.
Howard Shipley,
Yes,
Jim Stepp.
Yes.
12 yeas, 0 nays.
the motion is approved.
Number 9B7, Fund 101 for Victim Assistance, $11,260, and this is a new grant, and I put it in the form of a motion.
We have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
There's a second from Commissioner Hahn. Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Jeff Eckert,
Yes.
Chris Cutshaw,
Aye.
Randy DeBoer,
Yes.
Thomas Doty,
Yes.
Tim Goins,
Aye.
Bobby Hahn,
Aye.
Tim Horner,
Yes.
Joe Huntsman, Eileen Armstrong,
Yes.
Wayne Neesmith,
Yes.
Howard Shipley,
Yes,
Jim Stepp.
Yes.
It's 12 yeas, 0 nays.
the motion is approved.
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner DeBoer. At this time, the chair will recognize Chairman Tim Goin of the Public Service Committee.
I call Public Service Committee to order, 10A, surplus items from the Hamilton County Sheriff's Department, and I put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion, do we have a second? Second from Commissioner Hahn. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of this motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed by saying no. Hearing no no's, the motion is approved.
Item 10B, surplus item from the Hamilton County Garbage Department. And I put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion, is there a second? We have a second from Commissioner Stepp. Is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion then, all those in favor of this item, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed by saying no. Hearing no no's, the motion is approved.
Item 10C, county inmate labor usage 2021 agreement. And I put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Who?
Bobby.
Bobby Hall. Okay, any discussion? Hearing no discussion, then all those in favor of this agreement, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed by saying no. Hearing no no's, then the motion is approved.
Chairman, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairman Goins. At this time, the chair will recognize Chairman Tim Horner of the Justice Center Jail Project Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item 11A, bid tabulation, manufacturer's steel detention cells. This is to reject the bids per the recommendation from Mayor Britton and to instruct Mosley Architects to furnish detention cells within the general contractors when the bid opens, and I put that form in motion.
We have a motion.
Second.
There's a second from Commissioner Goins. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion then, all those in favor of rejecting the bids, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, let it be known by saying no. Hearing no votes, then the motion is approved.
11B, Justice Center project bid update. Tony Pettit of Burwil is here.
Thank you, Commissioner. I'm going to go back, all the way back to when Mosley Architects got permission to bid and kind of update you. If I read something off, you got a question, go up to the hand and stop me and interrupt it, or save questions at the end. But just kind of update you. January 14th. On January 14th, we had a meeting, and if I get too detailed, push me along too. On January the 14th, we had a meeting with Helen Ross McNabb, Mosley Architect, McGill Associates, to discuss how this construction would affect the neighbor's property there and what impacts it would have on them. We talked about dumpster location, entrances, and what all would happen during the construction of the Justice Center. January the 20th, we reviewed the submissions of the qualifications of the general contractors. We went out prior to that and got solicitations for general contractors. We received 5 general contractors' qualifications. Mosley determined that there's 4 qualified. The one that did not get qualified had not had that significant project on the Justice Center. The projects weren't just long enough. So you have 4 bidders, and they are Bell and Associates out of Brentwood, Tennessee, Blaine Constructors out of Knoxville, Tennessee, Branch Builds out of Roanoke, Virginia, and English Construction out of Lynchburg, Virginia. Those documents were issued to go out for bid January the 25th. On the 3rd of February, we had a meeting on the steel detention cell bid package, and we needed to have that bid in time. We anticipated that needed to be bid in time to allow us to notify the general contractors bidding the thing, to allow them to have the proper installation of those cells. On the 9th of February, we had a pre-bid conference in this room, led by Mosley Architecture. Each pre-qualified general contractor attending, at least one person. I think we had several from each contractor, and we had several subcontractors in attendance. During that meeting, we went over the bid documents in general and bid procedures, and we at that point in time, discussed postponing the bid date due to some information and some dentists that were forthcoming. During the bid comments, and Mosley Architects getting a lot of questions coming in from the general contractors and issuing these answers to these questions or clarifications to the documents by addenda. And during this time, we had a group that was really questioning the deep foundations. And so we had a meeting on February the 15th to generally discuss about the deep foundations. The deep foundations, which are micropiles, were a designated design. And our estimates previously had said they would, the number on the drawings were 881 deep foundations. And there was a discussion where we may be able to save a significant amount of money if we did not have a designated design for the foundations, but rather design them in-house with the engineering of Mosley Architects. So we followed that up on February the 18th, and at that point in time, went over what we thought we could save in as far as dollars and the amount of designated design versus design cost of the micropiles, and determined that we could save, we were hoping to save about $2 million off the project cost. So we proceeded at that point in time to design, Mosley design the deep foundations, and that resulted in us postponing the project from March the 9th to March the 30th. So that allowed the consultants to finish that design and get it back out to the contractors, 4 general contractors that were bidding it, and let them prepare their bids with that design. I can skip ahead and say that, you know, on March 10th, the micropile design was complete, and it wasn't as much as we hoped, but they eliminated 154 micropiles, and for an estimated savings, and this is going off estimates of previously of $850,850, and so it's well worth the exercise. And they also were allowed to get rid of what we call a shear key or a lug in the concrete deep foundations that had some constructability issues with it, and that they were able to eliminate that by using battered micropiles, and probably saved enough. And also, while they were the designer, the consultant also looked at the thickness of the pile caps, what the micropiles are underneath, and then you have the pile caps. We were able to thin them out, so we're estimating the total savings on the thing was about $1 million to $1.2 million, that exercise, off the project. Trying to read around the glasses. Also, I wanted to tell you, it's probably saved about a month of construction time. That's an estimate. Skip back up to the March 5th, and we conducted a Zoom meeting to discuss the results of the detention sales. We had 2 bids, 2 qualified bidders, and the bids were spread fairly wide between the 2. Alternates of the one bidder did not make any sense when we were looking at it, and the other bidder possibly was not properly licensed to bid the project. So the group agreed to find out if the scope was correct, if the high bidder, and that was the correct bidder, was properly licensed, and if the low bidder would allow their bid number, if correct, to be assigned to the general contractor. And determination of the sales tax savings still not been settled at that point. Did find out post-meeting the high bidder was not properly licensed. He is now. Took him a couple, 3 weeks after he was brought to his attention. And the low bidder had a mistake of leaving out basically the single floor 100 sales. Soon after that, it was determined that the sales tax savings could not be realized. And at that point in time, the team made a recommendation that we reject the bids, and the general contractors would include supplying the detention cells in the respective bids. All right, I'll keep going, because I've gotta be some questions there, okay, so, the microfiles on March 10th were completed, and Mosley Architects designed them, along with their structural engineer. Again, I said, I skipped ahead to this already, but, you know, they eliminated 154 microfiles. And it also changed some thicknesses and stuff. About $1.2 million, we think, maybe $1 million savings there. On March 12th, Mosley Architects was issued addendum number 4 with the micropile design revisions. And also now the steel sales are in the scope of work of the general contractors. That helps the counties. If you can't realize the savings, the county takes on a whole lot less risk. You're not taking any risk now. Whereas before, if we had the sales, we could save the sales tax. It was worth the risk. But now that you're not going to have the sales tax savings, it's not worth taking on the risk of you purchasing the steel sales. So that's the reason why, another reason why we decided to reject bids and put it back in the general contractor. Now he's in charge of scheduling, shop drawings, delays. It's all his responsibility. And that's all I have. Questions? Sure.
With the amount of time, was that figured in on the million too? The amount of time that we're going to save, was that money also figured in on top of that million?
No, it's just hard dollars for savings of the concrete, and generally the micropiles are about $850,000 of that.
And about how much time do you think that would save us on construction?
About 30 days.
30 days.
Of construction. Mr. Mason?
I've got 3 or 4 for you.
Okay.
I think
I'll try my best.
You've answered some of them come
Okay.
along the line. Micropods has to do with the foundation.
Micropiles are a system of deep foundations.
What is a micropod?
Well, you have, the most common, and University of Tennessee uses this, is drill caissons or drill piers. And you've seen these in pictures and stuff where it's a 36-inch, I've never seen one 30, all the way up to a 65 or 72-inch round column underground. So these micropiles is technology that's been around, well, as long as I have. So it's been around 40-something years. It used to be a new technology, but it's basically, and the majority of these are 8 or 9-inch in diameter columns, and some of them are 7, some of them are 9 with reinforcement in it, and they go down to bedrock. So you have, instead of one great big old caisson, you have several micropiles instead of, I guess, a major pile. It goes down to bedrock, so they're faster and they're more efficient in getting the support of the foundation. So did that answer your question?
Okay, I think we talked a while ago about Colgate.
Yeah.
They went in there and put.
They had a floor support and all that.
They had 4 foot, and it's all the whole floor.
They supported their floor with
The whole floor is sitting on these things. If y'all seen that building down there, it's a monster of a building. That was one question I had. Let me just get on with some of these other stuff. You explain what a micropod is. How many micropods are required?
Micropile.
Micropile.
It's just a mini drill case on it. And if they're filled with concrete, they come up to your pile cap, which is a foundation, and then pile cap rests on it, and that's your compressive strength taken down to the bedrock.
Pile cap with rebar?
Pile cap is a foundation, yeah, it's a rebar.
Okay. That's one thing I had. Before we had it for when we was going to buy the jail cells and save on tax money, we had it where, I'm trying to figure it out where I put it down here. Lost my place on here. We had it where the contractor was gonna do the plans for
Micropods.
the microphones right up front here.
Yeah.
They were gonna do it.
It's called a designated design.
Okay.
That happens sometimes in exterior wall with windows and stuff. The architect engineer will give a designated design and say, Mr. Drywall Contractor, you go and design your exterior walls. This time he said, Mr. General Contractor, we want you to go and design these micropods. So he would hire a micropod foundation contractor, and they would go and come back and say, and they would probably come back and said, you don't need 881 of them. If you do this, you would need 154. But discussions are, we'd rather have it in the competitive bid situation rather than getting 75 cents on the dollar after you bid.
Let's see what else. Okay, Mosey, the contractor was going to design the contractor, and now Vince Mosley's taking it back over. Will Mosley be doing the design on these?
Yes, the design is complete, yes.
They're gonna take it.
They've got a consultant doing the design, yeah.
They're really the only one to be doing that.
Yeah.
Okay. Is any, how long ago this soil test? When did that show
Well,
up?
that's a hard question, see, I don't know the date. The soils bearing, the soils reports are probably about a year, there's two of them. Yeah. And you did one, and then you did an amendment or revision to that, and I don't have the dates with me.
Yeah, we did one with 9. It was
Yeah,
around
and then you did, yeah, the
around
first one was
the
with 9.
property on Allison Street, but I guess this one would probably about to be on Allison Street too. I just wondered, I didn't know about that we had done that, so.
Well, you did that prior to us being on board, so it's been quite a while ago.
I found out about it when I saw the invoice on we had paid to have it done.
Okay.
That's when I found out about it. That's one thing, God, and it's, I'll come back to you in a minute on this,
Okay.
I'm gonna take up all the time.
Any other questions?
Any other questions?
Well, I guess you got me back then.
I
Nobody
do,
else
don't I?
knows-
That's
Everybody
fine.
else knows everything that's going on about it, so I guess I'll just come, on the sales tax.
Yes, sir. I'm not a tax attorney.
I know it, but has other people done that? Have they
You
bought,
know,
have they bought sales and then?
I've been around for a while, and I've seen, the wildest one I ever saw was, what county? Putnam County built an EMS, and they contracted with the company I was they're no longer in business, Block Constructors, and they told us, we're not paying sales tax on it. And we kept saying, I don't understand how you cannot pay sales tax on everything. And, so there was a clause as we were a general contractor, and we put a clause in there saying we're not taking responsibility. If we get charged with sales tax, you have to pay it. So that's kind of the wildest one I've seen. In the past, and I'm talking about this company I worked for before, churches have taken advantage of sales tax by buying materials direct. Private colleges can do that. And I've seen it happen before where they're going, what we found out here is that if we could save the sales tax, but somebody's got to pay the use tax, so that money gets back into the job anyway. So if you're gonna put the money back into the job, there's no use us taking the risk of something happening during shipment, we get it too early, and the contractor's not ready for it, and we have to store it. I'm talking about us, have to store it, or we get it too late, and the contractor comes back and says, you're delaying me, and that's expensive. So we thought it was best, if we can't realize that big number in the savings, so that the contractor, the general contractor, be responsible for all the responsibility of the sales.
The sales tax, somebody's gonna pay for it. Either at the beginning or at the end.
Unless you're a church or a private complex.
That's right, the state's gonna get their money. That's what I'm saying all along, somebody's gotta pay for it.
Yeah.
All of it. contractor pays for it, they just gonna pass that on to us.
It would be in the bid.
We're gonna end up paying for it sooner or later, somewhere along the line.
It should be, it should have, if they were a student, it would have been in their bid, as use tax.
Any other questions? Mr. Pettit, we appreciate your time.
And I'm planning on being here whenever you need me, at least once a month, is that what we want to do?
I think so, yes.
If needed anytime, okay.
We'll let you know whether it'll be a committee meeting or a general committee meeting.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Chairman Warner. At this time, we will receive general public comment.
When Holden 8150 West Point Drive. All this COVID money y'all getting, that comes from the federal government. Who pays the taxes on that? We do. Where's that money going? I'd like to have it in writing where all that money's gonna go. And who it's gonna help, and who's gonna get it. Can I have that in writing, Chairman Shipley?
Any other comments? Hearing no other.
I'm sorry.
You got two other people.
Bonnie Bullington, 317 Stubblefield Street, Whitesburg. Well, the micropilot situation brings me to another concern. They figured out now that they can do with less pilings to cut on cost. But how does that cut on the structure of the building? You know, people say to me all the time that this jail's a done deal. And my reply to that is nothing's a done deal until it's a done deal and the doors are open. And then people say, well, you've already got $1 million, $2 million invested in it. That may be. But I would rather take a loss of $1 million or $2 million and come out with a better and more economical solution to this jail than to keep going with this fiasco we've got. And that's what it's going to be. I mean, every meeting, that's what it's turning into. There's just all this change going on, and nobody seems to know what's going on. I don't see how the jail can be built at this rate.
Okay, no.
Linda Noe, 2343 Joe Stevens Road. Appreciate Mr. Pettit being here. He kind of proved the point of the chaos this has been. We suddenly find out we can save money, which is good. Did you ever think what you might save if you had a 15-minute presentation? Or a week to assemble information independently about the one-level jail that the sheriff prefers, that is safer and requires less staff. Now you can say it doesn't. You can say that all day long. But until you get the facts put together independently from someone, you don't know what it would do. And as I said, if Mosley and Pettit and the geotechnical person, after it's already been put out to bid, start looking at things and suddenly realize, wow, we shouldn't do this. There's a better way. There may be a completely better way, which would be a one-level jail, save $30 million, have a safer jail. So why do you keep barreling down this path with total incompetence from the mayor's office? I will just say it. And you know it. It's evident. You see it. You've seen it for the entire last year with the commissioning services, with the project manager, with the architect for the Hale House, with LaBelle for the realtor, with the sales tax, with the micropiles. You can spin it and it sounds good, and I'm glad that we are saving money if that's the case. But why did we get to this point and not know about the micropiles, not know about the sales tax? And what else don't we know? Please get the facts instead of going on. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Sir?
Rob Burke, 720 White Oak Circle. So a couple of thoughts, sorry, first time here, so sorry my schedule's not allowed me to do so. On section 9, it was really interesting to me how we were given specifics as to what item 5 and 6 were going to in regards to a printer and security cameras. However, the other items were just shaded through without any actual discussion of what those were. And I agree that the people are interested in how this money is being used and where it's going to. So I would be very interested in not only hearing that, but having that written documentation so that we can maintain that and view that for ourselves. Excuse me. And as mentioned with Mr. Pettit's discussion, it's great to have an opportunity to save some money. According to my simple math here, I count a little 2 million here, 880,000, 1.2. It looks like a possible $4 million of savings, plus an estimate 30-day construction time savings, possibly $5 million of savings. But as already been mentioned several times, if we look at other opportunities and other potential designs, you're not looking at saving $5 million by doing this design alone, but possibly much more. And the community is much more concerned about what you're doing with this, what you're doing with their money, and it is becoming a very concerning opportunity, which people are wondering why you guys have dug your heels in so much. Who is benefiting from this? Because it's not the people, and that's the people's money. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Anyone else that wishes to address the commission?
Karen Arwood, 1501 Elder Road, and once again, those of you as commissioners that have not, or weren't commissioners, or no opportunity or whatever to even go down to Coffee County to see the pod situation that they do have, I personally have taken the time and I have gone down, I've seen it, very, very impressive. And it's very different to see it in person than if you're not accustomed to looking at blueprints. And even if you are accustomed to looking at blueprints, still yet seeing it in person makes a lot more sense. And I think there was a kind of discussion within the group that if those of you that have not gone down, and I know that there are several of you, that we as a concerned citizens group would be more than willing to even pay for your gas down and back to Coffee County. That is how strongly we feel for you to actually lay eyes on an alternative, one level pod system, the safety, the viewing, being one floor, they're being able to have enough staff, the staffing, just the design affects and adds to their being able to reduce the staffing. And I implore, please, those of you that haven't actually seen this design that we have talked about and brought up to you guys for well over a year, take us up on our offer and go down and actually see it for yourself. Please. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Anyone else who wishes to address the commission?
Tony Scrazullo, East Louise Avenue. So these pylons that we're putting in, It's gonna save us money, it's gonna save us time. Obviously, it needs to be done in this location because the location isn't adequate for the normal design of a foundation. Also, I don't know how many times these piling systems fail, and when they do fail, what type of issues are caused by the failure of this. On a facility that's gonna be built like this, with the pods that are actually being the walls in the building and the strength of it, and not a normal structured building, that has to be looked into. Another thing that needs to be looked into that has been brought up, but I haven't heard anything about it, is what about the fights? What about the fires? What about the floods? What about those issues that we've all brought up numerous times? It's never been talked about, never been asked any questions. We have somebody here that designed it. That would be the person to ask, what is there to take place in this? Because right now, we heard last week that if there's a fire or something like that, they go out in the little ball area. Well, are you going to do that 4 times, 5 times the amount of people? You know, you have, there's a big difference of the amount of inmates that you have now, what you're going to have to deal with. Nobody's ever talked about state inmates, federal inmates. Are we going to house any of them? Do we plan on housing any of them? We have a federal court right here, and there's inmates being shipped from North Carolina to go to that. They get paid for that. Nobody said anything along those lines. If we were going to maybe do something other than just house our own people, that would show some kind of more of an income, the reason for a different type of facility. But the facility structure in itself needs to be looked at, because none of you have came to answer what we're going to do if these types of emergencies happen. We have to deal with that. We need to sit back and we need to take a couple of steps back, and we need to really see where we're at and not just keep trying to move forward. We need to look at the problems that have been presented and find the issues so the people know what to expect. We also have 2 new people that want to run for sheriff. Have any of you spoken to either of them and found out their ideas? They're the ones that are going to have to house those people and deal with that on a daily situation. It would be a good idea if maybe you got both of them in there so that you all know what their insight is, their thoughts are, and so that when we decide to vote in a month, 2 months, we know how we want to cast our votes, depending on what they have to say. You all have to do that, not us.
Anyone else who wishes to address the commission? All right, I want to remind the commissioners of the 3 meetings that you have on your agenda. First of all, don't forget, May the 25th, the Rules Committee will meet here in this court room at 6 p.m. The April 21st committee meetings are April the 12th at 5:30. These committee meetings are where a lot of the background discussion goes on. So if you really want to know background information, I would encourage you to attend a committee meeting. And then our April commission meeting, Thursday, April the 22nd at 5 p.m. We would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We have a motion. Second? All in favor say aye.